Hey guys, and welcome back to r/EntitledPeople. It's time for more Reddit stories, so sit back and relax and let's get right into it. And if you want more content like this, consider subscribing. Alright, let's get going. Sister-in-law withholds her children for the holidays because she refuses accountability for thefts. I have 3 nieces and a nephew I was quite close to. They frequently spent weekends and every special occasion with us in our home. As of writing this, I've not seen them for nearly a year. My sister-in-law and I were both employed as caregivers for elderly homebound individuals. Because of our job experience, we were taking turns assisting our grandfather-in-law with dementia. In March, he received a credit card statement with over $21,000 in transactions. When confronted with the bill, sister-in-law admitted she had taken and used the credit card. On my next visit to assist him, I drove him to the sheriff's office to file criminal charges, despite sister-in-law's promises to pay off the debt with the bank. Those charges are still pending. Sister-in-law was fired and blacklisted from working with elderly people, and has cried that should be punishment enough. Once charges were filed, her children were no longer allowed to spend any time with me, my husband, or our sons. She's run through several jobs, and was recently fired from another one for, you guessed it, stealing. Just before Halloween, I switched jobs and noticed my social security card was missing. I then received a new credit card in the mail that I had not applied for. Sister-in-law currently resides at my previous address. We gave her the house where she currently lives. I often receive credit card offers in the mail, and they've been sent to that address on numerous occasions. I was immediately suspicious, but with nothing to go on, I let it go. On November 21st, I received a credit card alert that I had opened a PayPal credit account and paid another PayPal user $250. I contacted the creditor as well as local law enforcement. Sister-in-law is adamant that she's had nothing to do with it. I'm still waiting on paperwork from the bank to verify her contact information on the application. She's dug in her heels and announced that the children are not allowed to spend any time with us for Christmas unless all the charges against her are dropped. This will be the first Christmas my youngest son hasn't spent with his cousins. He's heartbroken. I'm just pissed. I don't understand how she musters the audacity. Editing to answer some questions because this blew up. She is my husband's brother's wife. She turned 30 this year. Her kids are 11, 7, 4, and 2. My boys are 18 and 10. I froze my credit after I received the first credit card. Not 100% sure how the transaction still went through. My thought is she had all the necessary information and could easily have unfrozen it. It's taking so long to nail down charges because attorneys are nitpicking over which charges she spent versus which charges were legitimate. Aside from bills, some purchases she made were $800 tickets to a Backstreet Boys concert, a $700 Venmo to her BFF, a $1,600 boudoir photo shoot, $600 at Victoria's Secret, $450 in deliveries from her favorite local Mexican restaurant, $400 ATV excursion in Cozumel, Mexico, on a cruise her and her husband paid for, and $650 from a website that sells designer scrubs. Nothing was purchased for her kids. At a court hearing this past week, sister-in-law was sentenced to serve 20 days in jail, suspended until after the first of the year, and must pay $8,000 in restitution. Grandfather-in-law passed away today after suffering another stroke. Man, how bold or perhaps stupid do you need to be to try to commit credit card fraud against a family member? An in-law, but still. And not only that, but also using her own kids as a bargaining chip to try to get them to drop the charges. It's a good thing it seemed to work out in the end though. You got your money back, she went to jail for a bit, and it's all good. The only problem I can see here though is I really doubt she's gonna let her kids hang out with your family anymore. Which isn't great, but it's not like there's anything you can do about that. Karen welcomes me to the HOA. In 2019, I bought a condo. I had not been moved in more than 10 days when I got a knock on the door. I live in a building that only has apartments on the second floor, 4, and a communal area below us. I like the location because I don't have to worry about being loud to people beneath me. Well, this Karen knocks on the door and I open it. Hi, I'm Karen, and we share a wall. I'm me. Okay, can I help you? I have done the pricing on having my outlets sealed. You need to pay half, because I can smell the food you are cooking since you moved in, and I do not like it. Excuse me, what? I do not like the smells coming from your house. It makes me nauseous. What smells are causing you to feel sick? The cabbage and onion smells, and you cooked fish. It is unbearable. Maybe you should hustle down to Bed Bath & Beyond and buy one of those fancy, expensive, scented candles. No, I need you to pay me half for having my outlets sealed. No, I will cook what I want to cook in my apartment that I bought. There is nothing in the CC&Rs that says I need to avoid cooking fish or cabbage. Also, onions are a primary ingredient in a lot of world cuisine. I will continue to use all of these ingredients. Well, I paid for my apartment as well, so I do not want to be subject to your nasty smells. Okay, here's the deal. I am going to close the door. If you want to improve your home by sealing the outlets, that will not stop the smell. You are entirely within your right as a homeowner to do that. However, you will do it at your own expense. Moving forward, there is no reason for you to interact with me unless there's a legitimate issue with the wall or pipes that we share. Well, that is just rude. I am unconcerned with how you feel about me or the food I cook. There is no reason for you to ever talk to me again, unless it has to do with our shared wall and pipes. Goodbye. I shut the door and went back to my business. A couple of days later, the HOA leader knocked on my door and asked me about the issue. I told her that I was not entertaining any of this BS. The two could call the police and send them out to arrest me over cabbage, onions, and fish. The HOA leader laughed out loud and told me that she just wanted to be sure things were calm and that there was no issue moving forward. I told her that we would be cool if Karen minded her damn business and didn't concern herself with my dietary decisions. I've been here 3 years now, and I see Karen regularly. We do not interact unless necessary. We had a pipe burst during the 2021 winter storm, and we had to get together and threaten to sue the HOA when they said they would not fix the pipes. They own them and are responsible for them. There was no problem. Afterward, we went back to peacefully coexisting without having to be friends or interact with each other. I still cook cabbage, fish, and onions. That time I drew a weapon on a road-raging Karen. A few years ago, I, a 32-year-old male, was driving down my rural 2-lane highway with my kindergarten daughter in the back, on the way home from picking her up from school. It's only about a 2.5-mile drive, which means I was on the road for a grand total of about 3 minutes. Halfway through the drive, this car comes out of nowhere and begins riding my bumper. Now, I'm driving a little fuel-efficient Yaris, and this car has a real big back window. And this woman was driving so close to me, at 60 miles per hour, mind you, that I couldn't see her headlights or even the front half of her hood. I ignore her gestures and erratic driving because why should I care? I've got a grand total of maybe 90 seconds left before I'm home, so screw her. This would have been fine, except I came over a blind hill and saw a school bus coming to a stop. With its stop, there are children in the road, bright red flashing lights on. And that big stop sign that extends into the road is in my lane, maybe 100 feet in front of me. Now, I didn't slam on the brakes, but I will be the first to admit that I did brake rather quickly, because, you know, kids on the road. She very nearly hit me when I braked, and while stopped, I could see her in my rear view screaming and punching her steering wheel. Now I've definitely got my eye on her. After the school bus pulls away, I proceed down the road and turn into my driveway, which is a 1/4 mile long and goes through the woods, and stop at the end of my driveway to collect my garbage can from beside the road. That's when I hear tires squeal, and I look up to see that she is stopped in the middle of the highway. She makes eye contact with me and she shrieks, "My husband is going to slit your throat." Okay, whatever. I move my trash can, and as I'm getting back into my car, she slams her car into reverse. Internally, I groan because this is about to become a huge issue. I yell out at her, "Don't you dare come onto my property. Just go away." Inconceivably, she shrieks, "This isn't your property." She puts her car into drive and quickly accelerates directly at me. I know from my security training, I'm a veteran, that a motor vehicle is without a doubt a deadly weapon. And this woman has now 1, voiced an intent to kill me or have me killed, and 2, is now pointing what is essentially a deadly weapon at me with the safety off. Playtime is now over. My daughter, from the back seat of my little car, is terribly exposed should Karen choose to ram us. So I decide then and there that that is not going to f***ing happen. I draw my little 9mm in the low ready position, and with my free hand point back at the highway. I boom out with my old super serious NCO voice, "Stop or I will shoot you." Literally half a second away from me raising my weapon, which means about 1 second away from discharging the weapon. She slams on the brakes, her eyes wide as golf balls. She quickly reverses back into the highway and squeals out, "I'm calling the law." Side note, I know the rules. The moment her tires left my property, I holstered my weapon. Whatever, I was already dialing 911 when she reversed. So she parks in the middle of the highway, and eventually went and just parked down the road from me. To make a long story short, the cops arrive, and after verifying that this is my property, and I am licensed to carry a weapon, they tell me to have a nice day. The Karen apparently told the cops that I was swerving around and trying to prevent her from passing me, and that she never tried to drive up my driveway. She also told them that she didn't think this was my property, because, quote, "What country boy drives a gay little car like that?" Her words, not mine. Solid logic there, Karen. During the ensuing investigation, a detective asks her, "So why did you drive up his driveway?" And she replies, "I don't know, I just got lost in the heat of the moment." Boom, she just admitted to trespassing and road raging without knowing it. The detective calls me and asks if I would like to press charges, which I declined to do. I don't care about her, I just want her to f off and leave me alone. I tell the detective as much and he closes the case. The end, I reckon. My former neighbor kept messing around and turning off our power. My dad lives in a duplex in North Carolina, and me, my sister, and my mom used to live in Texas. Whenever me and my sister had summer or winter breaks, we'd visit my dad. To those who don't know, a duplex is basically a house with a wall in the middle. We had an old lady as a neighbor. She probably wasn't taking any meds, so I do kind of feel bad for her. One time when me and my sister were tiny children, she accused us of hacking and spying on her, which is basically impossible because we were young children. We don't know how to do that crap. Ever since, we had a bad relationship with her. She would constantly harass us. She would complain about us making too much noise, when she is always banging on the walls. But Christmas 2018, she went too damn far. She would turn off our power for weeks. It was effing hell because I feel temperatures very vividly. Our power box was outside, and in some places of North Carolina, people trust each other to not mess around with our power boxes. My dad bought locks and then wrote a complaint to our landlord, which had gotten her kicked out. I have no idea where she is, but I hope she's getting the help she needs. Anyway guys, that's it for today's stories. Thank you for watching, I appreciate it. If you enjoyed, drop a like, it really helps me out, and also subscribe to the channel for more Reddit shenanigans. So take care everyone, have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time.